My name is Seth and I was born and raised in Maine, and I'm a farmer, a father, and a volunteer firefighter. And I'm extremely concerned about the future for my children and the rest of the kids in this community. And I think the biggest challenge that we all face is climate change. We grow a lot of different crops here, and everything's always changing on our farm, or not everything, but things continue to evolve. And but our main crops right now are beef cows, uh, nursery stock, which mostly is grafted fruit trees, and then we also grow fruit. We have a U-pick high bush blueberry planting, and then a young orchard. And we also have a small sawmill and do some logging, some timber stand improvement, and make hay, sell hay. And so we have a bunch of different projects, but really one of our big focuses and main income sources is our nursery. Well, so since I've been living in Maine my whole life, I've noticed that the climate has become much more unpredictable. And particularly in the last 10 years, we've seen years where we will get almost no rain in a growing season. And then 2 years later, we'll get rain almost every day of I think it was just last year, June, we had rain almost every day of the month. And when you're trying to make hay or cultivate your crops and keep the weeds down, that's pretty difficult to deal with. And we've had winters where we don't get frozen ground for the whole winter, or where we might get snow and then rain and then ice and more snow. And so we've definitely feel like climate change has had a huge impact on our farm and our lives, and looks like it's just going to get worse from here. When it comes to climate change, there's things that we're seeing that aren't just weather related. We're seeing increased pest pressure from different insects that normally don't survive or make it this far north in a season. We're also seeing different pests and diseases in our orchard that aren't normally so much. They're not usually as damaging as they are now. In the 10 years of farming here in Monroe, we have seen an increase in invasive species of pests and unusual diseases that have been affecting our crops in a really adverse way. And the only thing I can attribute that to is climate change. I think that there's been a real lack of leadership on the part of Senator Collins. She's really hasn't taken on this issue in a way that really looks like it's doing much for working people in Maine and for farmers. And I think as farmers and fishermen really get to look at what the effects of climate change are, it's scary. It's very daunting. It's like fishing. The lobster industry is struggling in many different ways, but climate change is certainly going to have a huge impact there. And then for farmers, we see this every day. We have to be outside working in the weather. And so I think we have a real keen sense of what's going on, and it's not good. Being raised in rural Maine, I definitely appreciate having the freedom to do what I want in my own backyard, and to be able to have real direction for my own life, and make those decisions, and really appreciate the rural kind of sense of being able to make your own decisions, and don't want the government to tell me what to do in all areas of my life. But when it comes to climate change, this is a global problem that not one single person can fully tackle. And I think we need a global response, and to me, that means our government really needs to take action. And if our political leaders cannot step up to the plate and lead here, they have completely failed. And in my mind, Senator Collins has been just unable to tackle this challenge in any way that makes sense. And it has left farmers and fishermen and rural people, I think we're going to be seeing the brunt of this in the coming years. Susan Collins has really just been paid off by big lobby, by big money, by big industry that has said, yeah, she's willing to follow their ideas more than the people she's supposed to represent.